weeks have been busy in Lagos. As Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu marks his second year in office, various government agencies and ministries are giving accounts of their stewardship and also showing a glimpse of the future of Lagos that appeals to the aspiration of a greater Lagos and a city set to compete with other megacities in the world. Welcome to Inside Lagos. I'm Adedoja Salam Adeniyi.
Ẹni tí ò dé kò yìn ẹkù kan. Àwa ni center of excellence. Ẹni ò dé kò yìn ẹkù kan. Àwa ni center of excellence. Mo ní pé bó o bá dé kò yìn ẹkù kan. Àwa ni center of excellence. Àwọn òyìnbó débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe. Àwa ni center of excellence. Haúsá débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe. Àwa ni center of excellence. Àwọn Ìgbò débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe. Àwa ni center of excellence. Gbogbo Yorùbá débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tí wọ́n mú lọ. Àwa ni center of excellence. Ẹni òde kò yìn ẹkù kan. Èkó ò ní bàjẹ́ lórí àwa. Àwa ni center of excellence. Ọ̀pọ̀ ò bá dé kò yìn ẹkù kan.
Governor Sanwo-Olu is paying more attention to educational infrastructure development. The governor inaugurated new school buildings in Surulere, Iwaya, Yaba, and Shomolu areas of the state. If the learning atmosphere is not conducive, gaining new knowledge or skills will be a difficult task. This, no doubt, affects children's education performance. It is on this basis that Governor Sanwo-Olu is providing positive classroom environment that will help improve attention, reduce anxiety, and support educational and behavioral regulation of students. Akinton Junior Grammar School, Surulere, is 12 blocks of classroom with modern facilities.
Education is still the most potent tool of empowerment and one of the most tested ways to close the gap between poverty and health. It provides individuals with the necessary knowledge, with the skills to actualize its great potential and maximize the opportunity that life presents it. The vital role of education is the growth and development of a mega city of our status, and it makes it imperative for us to ensure that our children have access to quality education and an enabling environment for excellent learning. Lagos State is rapidly changing with globalization and technological advancement. There is an urgent need for us to prepare our children for that future that we all see. In order to accelerate our children's access to world-class educational learning, we have aggressively embarked on the provision of additional classroom blocks building, administrative offices, school furniture, laboratories, modern toilet facilities, security across our 6 educational districts. Therefore, our children have access to quality education irrespective of their location under a conducive and proper environment for them to learn. We have so far completed over 1,097 projects covering about 970 schools across the state in less than 2 years. In the last 2 years, we have ensured that we promptly construct and rehabilitate over 322 dilapidated structures. We have added almost 100,000 dual composite furniture that have been supplied to our primary and our secondary schools. We are flagging off the school infrastructure renewal project to deliver over 300 new classrooms, which includes 7 new hostel blocks that is added over 2,000 bed spaces in our model schools. The project being commissioned today is a block of 12 classrooms with an administrative block with a library, and other ones have 18 classrooms with laboratory, with toilets, with borehole. The block of 18 classrooms that were being presented at Akinton Junior Grammar School here today. I'm delighted to inform you that this will be a continuous exercise until all our promise on infrastructural projects have been delivered in all of our schools. And so I cannot but acknowledge the contribution of our hardworking teachers who have continued to ensure that no child, no student is left behind. The infrastructure that were being put in place will amount to nothing if we do not have competent, capable, dedicated, and passionate teachers that we have in Lagos State.
The governor also inaugurated Fasil Umar Senior High School at Iwaya.
And the benefit of all our training youth to commission this building for their youth of today, thank you very much.
The renovated building that was abandoned 12 years ago is now wearing a new look. Other projects commissioned include Onike Girls Junior High School in Yaba and Igbobi Junior High School, Sanwo-Olu.
The state's purpose is to ensure that all students in schools in the state, particularly our public schools, receive a good education in a good environment. And I'm sure we are in a good environment today. It is indeed wonderful to see that these promises are being kept. In less than 2 years, the state has met every one of these promises to a significant extent. These projects are evenly distributed across the LGAs and LCDAs in the state, and there is hardly any school that was not touched by either a new school building, new classroom block, hostel, security structure, school fence, toilets, furniture, boreholes. I can go on and on and on, like I said. This is just the beginning, and even more projects will be delivered and commissioned annually.
Our focus is to make sure that the out-of-school children menace is drastically reduced. That is why we have designed a program called Project Zero. And the idea behind Project Zero is to be able to provide, socio-economic support to the parents and the pupil of our schools, so that they can come to schools.
The governor's focus has not been on infrastructure alone, but has touched all elements of the value chain of education, including teachers' recruitment and training, curriculum review, and investment in technology for learning. Lagos State government has installed 3,000 kilometers of fiber metro network connection within year 2020 across the state as part of the comprehensive Smart City program that seeks to provide a 24-hour cyber-driven economy. Commissioner for Science and Technology, Hakeem Pham, disclosed this during the 2021 ministerial press briefing. The implementation of the Smart City project is to improve all-round governance and promote access to major stakeholders in the government. In a bid to develop technology-driven economy, the Commissioner for Science and Technology says the state government had announced a 250 million naira seed fund to boost technological innovation and initiatives in demonstration of the state's commitment to developing Lagos into a 21st century digital economy and smart city.
We want to make sure that the private sector is doing a lot to boost the economy of Lagos State. And that is why in the startup ecosystem, Lagos is building the largest directory of the tech ecosystem in sub-Saharan Africa. Startup Lagos targets being the largest tech ecosystem to offer retail and institutional investors the opportunities of tapping into vast potential of early-stage tech-driven startup initiatives to blossom into regional and continental scale solutions to Africa's diverse challenges. Startup Lagos has launched in beta, and the work is still ongoing. Smart city implementation, or smart state implementation. This is very important, and this is key to our work. We believe that Lagos State must be at the forefront of innovative technology. If you look around, you'll see a lot of activities in this area. We've been doing a lot. We started running cables. By the time we finish with the fiber optics cables, we will cover the length and breadth of the state. Why this cable? Well, if we're going to automate, it is very important that we have the technology in place that will allow us to transmit the data. Now, this data is not just for the government, this is for everyone. We're making sure that we close the digital divide in Lagos State. We're going to reach schools, we're going to reach medical institutions, government agencies, private sectors, as well as the markets, because we want to make sure that we leverage the power of technology, the power of internet to communicate and do business. And we're not stopping at that. If you look at the situation in the country today, we have to make sure that we provide a safe city. We want a place, we want a state where people will be confident of moving around, where people will enjoy their leisure activities. To that end, we've deployed cameras in the first phase of our Smart City initiative. The cameras will monitor activities where they're deployed, will monitor movement of vehicles, and above all, to provide peace of mind for everyone in the state. Part of our Smart City initiative is also to improve on transportation and traffic management, water and sanitation, town planning, smart energy, mobility using Wi-Fi, procurement, and enhanced emergency and response services for e-government, broadband services statewide, and unified communication for our first responders. Because the first responders will be the people that will be able to act whenever there's an emergency, whether it has to do with medical emergency or whether it has to do with safety. We have the infrastructure to provide the necessary tools that will mobilize people to respond appropriately.
Our Art of Technology event and the platform remains a very bona fide engagement point with the private sector. The last edition in December was Smart Data, Smarter Lagos. One of the partnerships we also have currently is with Budget and in our Open Government project. The Open Government project, and it talks to a question earlier about the availability of data. We are doing a massive project on data. Currently, we are digitizing millions of data sets across the Lagos State's civic sector. This includes land administration records. This includes budgets. This includes on-field data that various officers of Lagos State collect, digitize it, and make it available. As you well know, Lagos is about the 6th largest economy in Africa. What that portends is millions, even billions of data sets, right? And so work is ongoing to digitize these and make these available for all stakeholders across Lagos, even public sector decision makers, private sector partners, and global institutions, so that we can really build the smart city that we want to see. The open source project is a project that, apart from using local solutions to solve local problems, it's also an initiative to drive up the software development capacity in Lagos. In software development, for instance, the only way you can increase your capacity is to work on complex projects. And so through the Lagos State government, we will be working with different software ecosystems to solve major challenges across Lagos. Challenges in transport, in health, in education, in energy. And so when software developers and coders work on these problems, they increase their capacity and knowledge. And so therefore we have a prepared workforce that is able to address the challenges across Lagos. So there are varying interventions in STEM in secondary schools. There are varying activities going on in the software development space that will be able to give Lagos State a qualified workforce to build the smart city that we want to see.
Health Ministry is next. In its account, the containment of COVID-19 first and second wave in the state helps to better prevent the looming third wave that is ravaging India and Brazil from entering Nigeria through Lagos.
In addition to just carrying out the normal PCR test, we're developing the capacity to do the mutant PCR, which means it will not only pick up COVID, but it will be able to tell us which of the mutations are circulating in the world that anybody who is positive for COVID is now carrying in Lagos State. This is very advanced technology. We're going to monitor inbound travelers to make sure that they are isolating according to the guidelines and that they come for their day 7 test. We're ramping up our oxygen strategy to make sure that we are not caught flat-footed and that if we do go into a third wave and there's a high demand for oxygen, that we can meet that demand.
On COVID-19 vaccination, about 260,000 residents have been vaccinated in the first phase of the campaign from the 88 centers in Lagos. As Lagos focuses on the containment of COVID-19, Akin Abayomi says other health programs are not neglected, including health infrastructure.
The administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu in the last 2 years has rescued about 48,000 households from poverty through its social intervention programs, under which women got cash transfers and acquired skills, especially in agro-business.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's Poverty Alleviation campaign in the last 2 years has rescued about 48,000 households from poverty through its social intervention programs, under which women got cash transfers and acquired skills. 1,050 rural women received intensive training in boosted output in agricultural production and giving the beneficiaries equal access to markets. State government in the last 2 years prioritized intervention programs that support women in achieving gender equality, self-reliance, skill balance, inclusion in social security systems, and stable means of livelihood. The Commissioner for Women Development and Poverty Alleviation, Bolaji Dada, attended the report of the ministry's activities at the interministerial press briefing organized by the state government to commemorate the governor's 2nd anniversary.
Before Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu came into office as the governor of Lagos State, this program was done once a year, but when he resumed office as governor, he approved that the program be done quarterly. And that's why we have 5,780 recipients. We are at the verge of another empowerment program anytime from now. Before the end of this month, we'll be having another mega empowerment for the year 2021. Agricultural training for rural women on cultivation of vegetables, cassava planting and cultivation, garri processing, and other arable crops. About 1,050 women have benefited from this program. In 2029 to 2021, during the empowerment program, 236 graduating students across the skill acquisition centers benefited from our mega empowerment program. And the reason for this is that when we have such programs, we go to the people that really need those equipments. the indigent, the people, the artisans that have learned some skills but cannot set themselves up. And our students fall in that category. Some of them have graduated from our schools, but they do not have the ability to set themselves up. So about 236 of our graduating students benefited from our mega empowerment program.
For the Ministry of Wealth, Creation and Employment, not less than 939.98 million naira had been expended to support businesses that were affected during the NSAS protest. With this amount, not less than 10,005 direct jobs, while 40,020 indirect jobs were saved in the aftermath of the protest in the state.
State cash transfer will be moving from local government to local government. The state cash transfer right now will be in 12 local government out of the 20, and we will stop until we get all local government covered. And when I'm talking about local government, I'm talking about the indigent and the vulnerable in such local government as captured by SOCO, Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, in their social register. And you know, Mr. Governor is even going further on that. To those that are not considered qualified, Mr. Governor is planning to give SUCO because it's coming out of the new humanitarian, policy that we are projecting for Lagos State, so that all our indigent and vulnerable families are supported by both federal and state government. Then the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, we all know what the trust fund has been doing. They've been doing so well, especially during this pandemic. They came up with recovery funds. They came up with all sorts of funds to assist people, especially after the NSAS, to the scourge of those periods on their businesses. LSCTF has been there to give financial succor to all of them. Last year, Lagos State was the best artisan supporting state in the federation. The reason being the giant stride of Mr. Governor in making sure that our artisans are not lay-by artisans. The ministry has been working on establishing industrial hubs, which entails creating a congregation of related enterprises in an identified location for enhanced productivity. Wealth creation and business development through provision of access to business accommodation, workshops, standards, equipment, and infrastructural facilities at affordable cost. The multiplier effect is to create value chain in the enterprise, and the ministry proposed to set up 3 different hubs. Leather hub, it's under construction as I'm speaking with you, garment and gemstone hub.
The unwavering support by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his administration to these strategic ministries is a deliberate attempt at reducing poverty and also mitigating unemployment in the state.
And that does it on today's edition of Inside Lagos. Many thanks for being a part of it. And to our Muslim brothers and sisters out there, we'll say Eid Mubarak. As we go into the Eid ground to pray, please let's observe all the COVID-19 safety protocol. I'm Adedoja. Salam Adeni. Eid Mubarak. See you next time. Bye-bye.